y'all, this is Halloween, and if you don't already know me, I love to stroll through cemeteries, learn a little bit about the history of the cemetery, and I love to visit haunted places. If that sounds like something that you're into, you may want to subscribe, because I'm going to be taking you somewhere new every week. Today we're headed to Parrish, Florida to visit the Parrish Cemetery. This is an older cemetery and there are some pioneers of the Parrish, Florida area buried there. I'll also be taking you to an awesome place to eat. That way if you want to visit the cemetery, you'll know where to go to get some good grub. Enjoy! We're here at C&K Smokehouse in Parrish, Florida. Gonna go in and get a bite to eat. We already got our food, and all this food for 23 bucks, and it looks so good. I got the mac and cheese and the fried okra with the pulled pork sandwich. I'm about to break into this pulled pork. It's a good size. Not too big, not too small. I got the sweet and spicy sauce. And the meat looks really tender. As soon as you pull up, you can smell the smokehouse in the back, and it smells amazing. It's delicious. Very, very good. The okra is amazing. I haven't tried my mac and cheese yet.
It's amazing.
It's amazing? My husband says it's amazing. So stop by CK Smokehouse if you're in the Parrish, Florida area. You won't be disappointed. We're here at the Parrish Cemetery in Parrish, Florida. I don't know when this one was established, but it's pretty old. It is a historic cemetery, again with many of the pioneers from this area laid to rest here. Let's go in and see what we can see. This is a very nice cemetery. The grass is cut. It's very well kept, but you can also see that there are a lot of old monuments right here in the center. We're going to look at those and kind of get an idea of when the cemetery was established. It looks like there are still departed being entered here. There's a lot of new headstones as well. So again, it's a very country, rural area, but so it's pretty quiet and peaceful around here. So that's nice. A little dirt road that kind of leads you around the cemetery. And there are a couple people here visiting today. It's a beautiful day for a walk through the cemetery. It's cool out. It's not hot. It's breezy. Look at this. That's a really nice plot. Aguila May Morgan, loving mother and grandmother. This is very pretty the way they've done this. They have sort of like a capsule interment. One of my favorite headstones, the angel. Favorite newer headstones anyway. This is another cemetery that I really wasn't able to find a lot of history on. I found out some about Crawford Parrish, who the area is named for. He was a rancher, and he had citrus groves. And he brought the citrus industry into Parrish, Florida, and eventually the town was named after him. And he, I think, is buried somewhere in here. But as soon as I walked in, this part actually caught my eye. Now, if you've been with me to some of the African American cemeteries, they do this style a lot and often paint this sort of capsule style, and they often paint the tops of the capsules, just like here. I believe this left side of the cemetery to be an African American section of the burial grounds. And there's a, that first one that we just looked at, and this one here, here's a Kareem Nooney Jackson. He was African American as well. And I think that if you've been with me to the Rose Hill Cemetery or some of the other Afro-American cemeteries, you will probably recognize that they do use this style a lot. And they're also facing east. So they're facing away from the entrance to the cemetery, just like we've seen in other African American cemeteries. And then as you get closer to the entrance or the center of the cemetery, these start to go away and you start to see more of the monument style headstones. You'll see here that we've also seen in the African American cemeteries where there's rocks left. So each time a loved one comes and visits their departed, they'll leave a rock in lieu of flowers or something like that, which I kind of like, because flowers, like fake flowers and stuff, they start to deteriorate with time and weather, and if they're not maintained, they end up being garbage in the cemetery, just kind of flying around. So, but yeah, that's exactly what this is. And I did not know that it had. And look how neat these are. Look like old headstones that the script had rubbed off, so they just kind of put more cement on there and just etched in the cement. We've seen that done before too. I love when they have the picture of the departed on there, but I'm not gonna lie, this boy's eyes are wilding me out. They're kind of freaky. I took a picture, a close-up. You could see it, but his eyes are like kind of creepy. Poor kid. He passed. He was only 2 years old when he passed. From March 29th, 1915 to October 22nd, 1917. Then we have a 1922 here. John B. Lamb. Nancy Elizabeth Lamb. That's 1903 she passed. Here's a 1904. Robert Lamb. Here's another Lamb. Jesse David. It's a nice big above ground plot there. Wow, there's a lot of really neat headstones right in this area. Old. 1902. 1898. These are very old. This is, it looks like 1881. On the right there. (1883), 1893. Ruby Florence, daughter of W.H. and M.E. Gillette. That's another, I'm not sure if it's Gillette or Gillette. This is a big Gillette or Gillette plot here. I love these headstones that tell you exactly how old someone was. This is Miss Isabella I. Turner. Born September 19th, 1822. Died May 20th, 1892. 5 p.m. Aged 70 years, 4 months, and 1 day. So you know exactly how old she was when she met Jesus. Right here in the center of the cemetery is the Parrish family plot. I can't find Crawford, who the city is named for, but I think this is his son. It says John and Maggie Parrish. I think that's his son. If not, this is definitely his family. His son's name was John, and I thought the wife's name was Macy. That says Maggie, so that may not be his son. It's hard to find history on some of these places. You gotta really, really dig. And I was digging and I couldn't find much on this particular area and cemetery. They want to give you the runaround on the internet, you know. Oh, these are interesting. Look at these. Wow. It's kind of like a capsule, but it's so skinny. It's only a couple feet long. Or wide, I should say. And then, maybe 3.5 feet long. That's probably a child, of course. But even this one for an adult is not real big at all. Probably about 3 feet wide by 5 feet in length. Old, unmarked. There's no name or anything on them. Looks like this one's trying to bust out of there. Really pretty cemetery, though. It is pretty. This is a good sign that this historic cemetery is well cared for. When you see something like this, they took the care to at least place the broken pieces together so that they didn't get lost any further than, you know, they were, or misplaced anymore. So all of these broken pieces are still together, at least. Now they made those really tall, this had to be a really tall, thin headstone. Probably about that tall, it looks like. And they just wear out, fair wear and tear, and break with the weather and stuff. So I think nowadays they're putting steel beams, steel posts through them so that they don't so easily break anymore. Back in those times, they were all about these tall, thin headstones. And we've seen this often. They just don't hold up as good. I'm trying to get a date on here. I have to move it a little bit. 1906. So, yeah. This is an old one. Lots of cool things to see. Here's 1912. Blangford. Reverend Fred Blangford. This is actually his wife. Dakin or Dakin Worth. Dickinson. I've seen a lot of Rogers here. Could be my relatives for all I know. Well, it wasn't a very big cemetery, but it's very beautiful. A lot of old headstones to see and a lot of history here. Parrish family and a lot of the pioneers of this area are buried in this location. So you might want to check it out if you're in Parrish, Florida. That does it for this one. I'll see you at the next one. Thank you so much for joining me again today. I hope you enjoyed today's cemetery. It is a historic cemetery with a lot of pioneers local to that area, and it is such a cool sight to see. It's very well kept. It's open all the time. There's no gate. It's not gated or anything like that, so you can get in at any time. It's just always cool to learn a little bit about the history of the area. Mostly it was citrus groves and a rancher who actually procured the area, and that's why it was named after him. And it's still very rural, still a lot of cattle, a lot of ranchers in that area. So it really was a legacy that carried on for generations and still is so today. If you have not already, please remember to like, subscribe, and share the video. And that does it for today's episode. I'll see you next time.